Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be continuing on with this somewhat of a series where I look at articles or different specific topics and kind of share with you guys my thoughts on them, expounding on some ideas and things of that nature. And by very popular request, this one's going to be geared around fakes and UAs. My last video, which was 2 videos ago on the topic, was geared around and centered around Nike's lawsuit on various companies. We're going to be kind of expounding on that, but more so from the point of view of the public. If you guys didn't see that video, by the way, go ahead and check it out to give you guys a proper context of why I'm speaking from the position that I am. I did get a bunch of comments predicated around just my inability and my ineptitude of knowing a lot about the subject matter at hand. And for that, I would just like to start with an apology. Bear in mind, my real experience, my real world experience is very, very, I guess, just not very deep on the subject matter. I should have done a little bit more research. I should have read a bit more prior to jumping in to where it went, because I was essentially going to read that article and kind of see where it took me. I didn't expect it to take me to the rabbit trail that it did. But my only experience really was when I went to the Philippines. I saw a whole bunch of fakes. This market of all fakes. It's called Green Hills, right? And I mean, quite frankly, I didn't necessarily see the technology. I didn't see the quality. I didn't even see their ability to really, really make these shoes look like the real deal. You know what I mean? So I guess ultimately what I'm trying to get at is I did some research and I'm really looking forward to discussing this. But for this first segment, I'm going to be talking about a specific article here, and I'll go ahead. I got to start a screen recording, so let me go ahead and open that up real quick. That way I can put this real time alongside me reading it. That way you guys, if you guys decide you want to, you guys can read along with me. And also for this specific, this is a thread, a Reddit thread. I will have a link below if you want to whether join the conversation or just kind of expound on where they're at and what their ideas are and stuff, because I kind of breezed over it a little bit, and I feel like there's some good stuff here. Point of views that I'd never heard before, but it's good. I think it's really, really good. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this thread on Reddit. This one comes from r/rep sneakers. I think this is one of the bigger sneaker communities on Reddit, with 293,000 subscribed people. So it's huge. It's a huge portion of the sneaker culture here. So let's go ahead and read. Why you shouldn't buy real, in quotes there, shoes. Why you shouldn't buy real shoes. Financially, you are making the right decision wearing reps. Most of us are teenagers or in our 20s. Let's say you save your paycheck and buy a pair of $600 or even $2,000 sneakers every once in a while. Here are some reasons why paying resale/retail is pointless. So this is against resale as well as retail, which I do find interesting because, I mean, just right off the bat, I think that the really good fakes, actually, I know that the really, really good fakes are going to be close to retail, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong. You are destroying capital you can use to invest in yourself and your future. Now, he makes a good point here. I'm not going to lie, that is absolutely true. There are much better things you can invest your money in than sneakers. I mean, to say that whatever you put on your feet is a good investment would be a foolish thing to assume or to conclude, to say the least. They're shoes. They're gonna get dirty and so on. They're really just there to protect your feet from whatever's out there. And who's to say that these shoes can do a better job than what you can find for far less cheap, far less more expensive. But with that to say, just on this first point, on the topic of hype sneakers that, go for more than $200, if you will, or that resell, we have to understand that we don't all purchase sneakers with the intention of understanding that they're going to depreciate. You know what I mean? So not all of these super hype sneakers are meant to be used as beaters, worn into the ground, and then thrown away like a normal pair of shoes. At the point where you're investing this much money in shoes, it becomes an investment. I guess, somewhat on yourself because you want to like feel good and look good and whatever. But for a lot of us, I would assume for most of us who are paying a resale for shoes, I would go as far as to say that it is an investment for something down the line to capitalize on. And now just bear with me. A prime example for me personally from my point of view, I did a video on this a while back, was on the Nike Stussy Spiridon in the Fossil colorway. I knew I loved that shoe. I knew I was going to eventually get that shoe, but I decided to wait because just like, a stock market, if you will, you want to wait for the best price. And when you finally pounce, you want to hope you get the best price, obviously. And so that shoe, right when it dropped, it was just like dancing right around $400. I knew that it was going to drop down once people officially got their pairs in from sneakers and all the websites and so on. And I eventually got my pair for around $260. Yeah, $260, as in the Facebook group. And I knew, at least in the back of my head, at the very least, the rate of depreciation on this shoe will not supersede my initial investment. Does that make sense? So I guess ultimately what I'm saying is I'm going to at least break even after these shoes are worn. And to me, there's no harm, no foul, nothing to lose there in that respect. And so moving forward, let me go ahead and look up the cost of the Spiridons real quick, because I'm pretty sure that if I was to sell, hold on, let's take Spiridon. Oopsies. Nike Stussy. I think I put a little typo there. Let's go StockX. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. So in my size, if I was to purchase a pair right now, I could buy a pair for right around $460. That was the last sale. I feel like that would be the best metric to use. So $460 for a used pair, which is to say, at the very least, given the fact that I've worn these for X amount of time, I could probably quick sell them if I really wanted to for $320. I mean, I feel like that's more than fair. I feel like I could quick sell them for $320, and in that situation, I've profited and I've worn the shoe through a duration of time. And so just for that first point alone, and he, like I said, I skimmed this. He makes a lot of good points. But just for that specific first point alone, I guess you can say the initial investment and estimated loss on the shoes, buying fakes, is known, if you will. But a lot of these times, these shoes not only like keep from depreciating, but they will appreciate. And in the long run, I can't even tell you how many shoes I've paid X amount of dollars for, and they're worth even more than the initial resale price. And so after being worn, I can get more money from it. And so, yeah, that was like a total tangent, and we will continue. You're getting less product for your money. There's no such thing as a fake shoe. They are pieces of rubber and fabric, and if you can get 15 to 20 pairs for the same price, what makes more sense? And yeah, absolutely. If we're under the assumption that these are going to be used, then thrown away, consumed and thrown away, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But bear in mind, once you have these fake shoes, unless you are a terrible person, you're not going to try and sell these, or at least not sell them as authentic. I guess you could sell them if you wanted to. Or I guess you couldn't because it's illegal or whatever, but you guys get my point. But not a bad point at all. Like I think we can both establish, like both myself and whoever's on the opposite side, I think we can both assume that um, paying $600 for a consumed shoe, it's not the best investment. You can absolutely use that money elsewhere. It's impractical if we're being honest. There's no such thing as a fake shoe, guys. We're literally talking about pieces of rubber fabric. I don't even know how this thing. Wait, I don't even know how this is a thing. I have to say, sorry, the punctuations aren't the best. No shade. It's all the same ish, coming from China. Just get a decent replica so it's not a knockoff looking piece of S. Okay, so A1 on the point. He's absolutely right. So there's a difference, and I actually didn't know this, but there's actually a difference between knockoffs and replicas. And I do think that there's a difference between replicas and UAs, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. But I believe UAs use the same exact material and is based off of the exact same template, just made in a different factory. A replica is them using the name brand. It's going to be very similar in construction, quality, and so on. And then a knockoff is not going to use the brand, but not use the namesake or the brand, but have the same aesthetic. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think that's what I've landed upon. But yeah, he's definitely right as it relates to that. They come from the same place. And after doing some research, okay, so I want to put this stigma aside. So with regard to fake shoes, there is a place. Let me go ahead. I spelled it. I think it's called Puton or something. Please forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, dude. I'm terrible with names, but I'm pretty sure it's called Puton. And these are factories located in China, and these factories have been there for forever, for the longest. Nike and Adidas have been there for more than 5 decades, more than 50 years, from what I've read. And you have to assume that, given the fact that it is locals who run these factories over there, you have to assume that these locals, they talk amongst each other, and you have to assume that they try to capitalize on the situation that they're in. It's just, it's just the nature of the beast. It's human nature, And I had this really foolish. I'm pretty sure I read it somewhere. I want to say I actually read it somewhere, but I always thought that it supported, like the black market, like this dark shady back alley trafficking of people. And I don't know where I got that from, but I want to say I read it somewhere or something, but I always thought it was funding criminals. It is in regard to trademark, but I thought it was funding a darker side, which actually, from what I've read, isn't the case. I actually spoke to another YouTuber whose segment is solely based on fakes and UAs. Sorry, brain fart right there. And he essentially told me, he's like, yo, these are people who are just trying to make a living. They're in their 30s, supporting their family, putting bread on the table for their families. And I feel like that in and of itself, it made me feel, obviously, we know why not, there's plenty of reasons. We already know, the ethical aspects and stuff like that. But, the fact that it's not funding, super, super dark, violations of humans and stuff, that took a lot from me. I'm once again going on a tangent, but, yeah, we have, back to what I was saying was, you have to assume that these people talk amongst each other. And I foolishly said that the technology wasn't there. Now, I kind of stick by what I said, because ultimately you can't replace millions of dollars worth of R&D. But in light of that fact, we have to consider diminishing return. And if you guys don't know that term, you can just feel free to look it up and stuff. But spending all that money it doesn't necessarily assume that you're going to get that much money worth of value back. And if they have access to the same materials, if they have access to the same rubric, that and essentially being very close to these factories, why can't we assume that they can get close? And that was, again, I correct myself on that topic. I'm not condoning. This is strictly educational based on the research that I did. Okay, so don't hear me wrong. I'm not trying to make any enemies today. Based on the research that I found, there may be a lot of detail related discrepancies, but compared to what I saw in like the cheaper fakes and stuff when I was in Green Hills, there's a whole different side of this. There's a whole different side of this that we don't know about. And it's really, really a lot closer to the real stuff than people would assume. And so that's that. Let's go ahead and keep going here. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like this is going a lot farther than, or a lot longer than I usually. I'm a long-winded guy. I'm a long-winded person, so I do apologize. But there's a lot of interesting information out there. And for those of you guys who legitimately got so frustrated with me, I'm sorry you feel that way. But I can't apologize for, I guess I can't apologize for speaking before I did more research. So I do apologize for that. But I'm learning, I guess. And yeah, just bear with me because there's a lot of interesting information out here. There's no such thing as, okay, so we read that. The idea that it's not okay to wear replicas comes from people who are trendsetters, quote unquote, who don't wear reps because they have FU money to spend. Okay, that's interesting. They don't want y'all wearing reps because it makes their expensive outfit look less impressive when you pull up wearing the same ish as them. They just want exclusivity. But Drake even raps about buying fakes. Okay, fake it till you make it. All right, so this guy, that's a really, really good point. And I'm gonna shoot you straight. There have been people who've like, oh yo, this is fake or whatever, and told me. I never would have guessed because who the hell cares? And okay, I don't condone wearing fakes. I don't say go out and do this. But in that very same breath, if you are looking at another person's attire and in some way, shape, or form it denigrates your idea of self-worth, you got bigger problems, bro. Like that's, and I don't mean that in a condescending way, but I think it's time that we enjoy what we buy for ourselves. And if we would just stop worrying about other people, I think we'd be a lot happier. Seriously, I mean, just the negativity that comes along with having this mindset of shaming others, that says a lot more. I said this before. I've been saying this for years, as a matter of fact. If you are willing to call out somebody and put somebody else down because their stuff isn't authentic, if you are that concerned with another person and you're willing to do that, that says a lot more about you, a lot more negative things about you than it does about somebody who just wanted to wear something that looks like something that is being worn by their favorite rapper. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents on that. I've always held this. For the OGs of the channel, you guys will remember, I've been saying this for years. Don't worry about what other people are wearing. People tell me, oh, Paul, you're a Jerry boy. Paul, oh, this guy's just following the trends because he's not a Jerry boy anymore. It doesn't bother me because I enjoy what I wear, and that's just the point. And I will humbly confess to you, some days I am a Jerry boy, and some days I want to look like a SLP wearing Western guy, like, you know, pirate guy. I don't know, man. Like, it changes every day, and I feel like it's okay. And I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't mind what people say because I'm just having a good time with this. It's not that serious. And so I agree with him. If these trendsetters are making you feel some type of way, I would say just write them off. Because at the end of the day, They could give two rips about you and your well-being, and that whole stigma is solely just to break you down, and you don't need that energy in your life, and you don't need that opinion in your life, if I'm quite honest. So I like this point. Number 4, I stick by. There's people who do this, people who literally use their money to define themselves, and they don't. I mean, there's so many great reasons to live that have nothing to do with cotton and leather, and that's where I'll end that. I just, if you're in this to impress people, and not because it's fun, then I feel like you've gotten lost somewhere down that. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's continue. This is getting really, really long. Number 5, don't wear reps to turn eyes or be a poser. That's cringe AF. I don't want to cuss on my channel. Even if it's real, just let your clothes be an extension of you and allow you to be a little bit more comfortable with being you. Don't worry about spending $150 on the perfect rep. If you can get a good rep, sorry, a little gassy. If you can get a good rep for $50, don't worry about getting called out. I know, man, it's 2020. Wait, I know men in 2020 are beta, but come on, who gives a F? The only people who know enough, sorry about that, about these shoes to call you out will have to take them off and see. And honestly, the people who know that much about sneakers look way worse than the guy who is just wearing them just to have a good time. That's facts. And I feel like I don't need to expound on that. I completely agree. It's just, don't worry. Like this, he said beta. I didn't say beta. He said it, not me. So, don't worry about what other people have to say. If you're, I don't know, man. I don't want to expound too much because I feel like I'm riding the fence here, but I'm so freaking against. Number 1, the whole aspect of calling people that, I think it's just messed up. I don't have an issue with people who just want to wear what they want to wear, man. Dang, like, I don't know. That's just it. I've from the beginning, you guys know, the OGs know from my channel, I've always spoken against that culture because it's just fricked up. But anyways, let us continue. I want to just kind of read real quick the ones that got a lot of upvotes, the comments, and just see what they have to say. I like this first one is so good. This first one is awesome. So I'm gonna read it. Fake parts are a big problem in the automotive industry. Some companies spend a ton of money in R&D developing a new part and prices it accordingly. Then somebody comes along, copies that design with no investment in R&D, and is able to sell a fake at a much lower price. People gravitate toward the cheapest part, and the IP owner suffers intellectual property. Sometimes they go out of business because of it. But I don't think that's the same problem with the rep sneakers. Every hot release sells out instantaneously. It's not the people that are buying reps it's not like people are buying reps when the legit ones are just sitting on retail shelves unsold. Nike isn't hurting when somebody buys a rep sneaker. They already sold their entire allotment. I really like how this guy's saying all this. Like, I like his point of view. So I don't feel guilty buying reps. And besides all of that, unless you have money to burn, spending thousands of dollars on artificially inflated sneakers at resale is completely asinine. Number 1, I could be friends with this guy. I like how he speaks. He's very articulate, and this was very, very well written, and the punctuations for the most part were on point. So I appreciate you. He's right. He makes a really good point in relation to this stuff isn't sitting on shelves, and I understand the frustration behind it. So people are going to look for other sources, and let this be. This could be a fire that gets lit underneath the butt of Nike, and maybe they're going to make more pairs. Maybe they're going to get closer to at least getting closer to meeting that demand. Anyways, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Because, I mean, there's tons of info here, but this video is getting really, really long. But this is just part 1 of what we're doing, because I didn't buy fakes on one of these sites referred to me by this Reddit because if I'm honest, I was a little bit nervous about putting my card information out there. Like, I know that sounds like it sounds kind of stupid, but like I just didn't want like my credit card to just to have people have access to my credit card when I don't necessarily know the company, they're reputable and stuff like that. Even though there's a lot of people co-signing, I just don't know. So what I ended up doing was I reached out to somebody and I bought their I had to pay a premium over it, but to me it was worth it. So these fakes are $200. I ended up paying $250 for them, and I think you guys are gonna be I think you guys are gonna be freaking shocked. The person that sold them to me said that they were the top of the top tier. I have them. They're over in my room. They are a copy of another shoe that I own, and it's crazy. I think you guys will be just absolutely astonished. So in the next Wednesday, a video for this that's like this, I'm gonna be comparing them to because because there's a lot of people who made really valiant points, and I do believe that there's knowledge to be had out of this. And I think first and foremost, the reason why I decided to expound on this because it wasn't because like people call me stupid. I could really freaking care less, but I think we are all better for knowing more. And I want to take away. I want to do my part to not make these people feel so defensive because I think that the reason why they kind of grilled me in the comments is because I said a lot of really, really, I guess, unfounded things. And I think it's also because for a long time, these people have to always be on the defense because there's people who give them a hard time. And I would like to impact that in a way that's educational and also would delineate. I want to put the bad shadow. I want to like not the bad shadow, but I want to take away the stigma or the encouragement to shame people. Yeah. So I like I said, I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna continue to do what I've been doing because earlier, like I said, I still believe that buying authentic shoes is the move. They go up in value. If I want to sell them down the line after them being used, I will at least be able to break even. So my initial investment isn't hurt. And if I'm wrong about this, you can absolutely let me know. But every single purchase that I make is calculated. So I don't think I'm going to be able to be convinced that buying fakes is the move. I'm gonna be honest. I that's just my opinion. I think that I walk away a winner when I do pay resale and I'm able to capitalize a little bit even over that span of time while wearing them and make an extra 50, 75, 100, 200. Some of my shoes have appreciated by hundreds. Like one of them's appreciated by $1,000, if I'm honest, or a few of them. Anyways, so yeah, again, just another freaking tangent. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, guys. Anyway, so the second video is gonna be showing you guys some of the best fakes in the world, like unbelievable. And the third video, I've already filmed it and I cannot wait to drop it, is I wore them to a huge sneaker event and I ask people, I literally go up to people. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's a lot of fun. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it and it's cool. Like, yeah, it's all fun, man. This is all meant for fun. Clothes are fun. Let's go back to having fun and not making it be the identifying factor because there's so much more good in the human spirit. There's so much more to highlight in each other than to bring down. And in light of where we're at in life, there's so much more important things than what you're wearing. So I'll leave it at that. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you guys like this series, turn on notifications, subscribe, and comment down below what your guys' thoughts are. Do you agree with me? Do you not? Should be good. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace and be blessed.